Hey, what's up you guys, it's your boy Drew here back again with another video for all you American soccer fans out there, and in this video we're going to talk about who I think the next 3 expansion teams are going to be for the MLS, since now we're expanding to 30 teams overall. But as always, if you guys love soccer and you want to see it get the growth and respect it deserves in this country, then subscribe down below and be part of the change. Okay, it was announced a couple days ago the MLS will now be expanding from 28 teams to 30 teams overall. So it's got a lot of people speculating on who they think will be the next 3 new expansion teams to be added to the league in the coming years. Now that we've got Austin FC, Nashville, and Miami all coming with by the year 2021, that still leaves one spot for the original 28th team that seems to be a toss-up between Sacramento or St. Louis, and I'll give you guys my view on that decision in a couple seconds or minutes, who cares. But we also need to speculate on teams 29 and 30. Now what's really cool is that team 29, not cool, I mean what's really interesting and kind of that makes you think is that team 29 could be possibly from the same 2 teams as Sacramento and St. Louis. So let me just be straight out and give you guys my predictions right now, because I feel like I'm getting too complicated. So Team 28 is, like I said, a toss-up between Sacramento and St. Louis. Now, I mean, obviously, MLS wants to have an equal amount of teams per conferences for Eastern and Western conferences. You know, they want to have at least 15 teams each. Now that they have 30 teams coming, they got to have 15 in each, because it's just going to make it even. It'll be weird to have an odd number of conference teams to the other one. So now that we have 2 already selected Western Conference teams that will be playing by the year 2021, it only makes sense that MLS would go ahead and choose St. Louis to be Team 29. So that would mean that we've got a total amount of conference teams in order. Let's say they match up, even number. Now, a lot of Sacramento fans may not like that because, you know, Sacramento is a big team, a big, USL team. They got a huge fan base. They're very respected in the USL community, and it's, the MLS expansion community as well. They're favorites along with St. Louis. But what I think is a good news for Sacramento fans is that I think Sacramento will be Team 29. Now, this is my reason as to why I think it's going to happen. Get this, ready? So MLS wants to announce teams 28 and 29 at the MLS All-Star game this year. So it would make sense, because they're like, right now they're undecided between Sacramento and St. Louis. Like, I mean, they both got stadium plans. They've both got the money, the fan base, the core soccer community. Like, they've got it both. So like, MLS is like, well, we really don't know which team to pick. But it would make sense that now, since they're expanding to 30 teams, now they're like, you know what, we can have both of these teams. Let's have St. Louis and Sacramento. And hey, let's get this. Let's just, instead of picking a team right now, let's just announce both 28 and 29 teams at the MLS All-Star game, aka announce Sacramento and St. Louis. Does that make sense to you guys? Because that makes sense to me. Now, if that were to happen, that means we've got an extra team on the Western Conference that doesn't have the same amount of teams as the Eastern Conference. So it would just make sense that if Sacramento gets spot 29 and St. Louis gets spot 28, that the 30th team would most likely be an Eastern Conference team, because like I said, MLS would most likely want to keep an even amount of number teams for each conference. So if Sacramento gets spot 29, then that means the next team would be an Eastern Conference team. Hence, now we got to speculate who that Eastern Conference team would be. And I think I already have my pick. Okay, it might anger some people, but I mean, it's gonna anger anybody. It doesn't matter who I say it's gonna be, because someone's gonna get upset. But I think my strong pick would be Detroit City, like Detroit FC. Like, I think that's the number 1 pick for the Eastern Conference spot, to be the last Eastern Conference spot, to make it all even again. Because my reason is, they've got a great fan base, they've got passionate soccer community. What's also really cool is that they were actually finalists back last year when MLS announced Nashville as the next expansion team. Like, they were finalists along with them, Nashville, and Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati and Nashville both already have their MLS spots and expansions. So now it would just make sense that, you know what, MLS was already looking at Detroit as a potential MLS area. They were looking at it. They know they got the fan base. They know they got the soccer interest there. They know they can possibly be another team just like Atlanta United to grow that fast and that big. The only downside to Detroit right now would just be what I see is just a stadium plan. They originally wanted to use Ford Field as a stadium, but with like the retractable roof, there was an issue, and MLS was like, "Nah, we ain't cool with that." So they're like, "All right, so we're gonna think of a stadium plan." So I think if Detroit City can come up with $200 million, that's the expansion fee. They get that money in. They get a good stadium plan that will, that will sell to the MLS owners or whatever. They'll be like, "All right, Detroit looks like a good fit. Here we go. St. Louis, team 28. Sacramento, team 29. Another Eastern team we need. Oh, Detroit, team 30, and we're done." For now, I can totally see this going to 32 teams. I can just picture it right now. So that's basically my rundown as who I think is going to be the next 3 teams for MLS. But what I also wanted to mention to you guys is that if Sacramento doesn't become one of these teams to get an expansion, then it's going to throw the whole thing off. Well, maybe not really, but I think that Sacramento could possibly be replaced by a little dark horse coming up that seems they got a lot of fan support. A lot of MLS people have been looking at this team, and that is Phoenix Rising, like Phoenix FC Rising. With Didier Drogba mixed into that whole business and stuff. They went to the USL finals or something like that recently. So they seem to be doing really well. So obviously, if they were to get in, I feel like it would be at the expense of Sacramento. Which, if you guys ask me, this would be my dream lineup. I would have St. Louis, because I'm really digging St. Louis, as Team 28. I'd have Phoenix Rising as Team 29. And then I'd have Detroit as Team 30. Because, like I said in my Sacramento and St. Louis video a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that I really don't care about California having that many teams. I know that California's a big state, but let's spread it out a little bit. I would love to have more teams in more states to spread the game across the whole country, spread soccer interest to help it grow in America as a whole. Because guess what? That's the point of the channel here. Done talking. I want to know you guys' predictions down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button. Helps your boy Drew channel out. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 1K. I'm almost there. This is insane. But I really love and appreciate all you guys' support, all you guys' soccer passion. That is the best kind of passion you can have for any sport. Don't try to change my mind, because you won't ever change my mind. Soccer, greatest sport in the world. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for kicking with me, and I'll see you next time.